Good morning, my dear students. Now let's move to the next topic, that is mean the historiography in the post-independence era. Mean the historiography, the writing of history after the independence. Now what about written by the historians after the post-independence era? That is means the Marxist history, subaltern history, and the feminist history. So let us see about the Marxist history. The concern for the means of production, modes of production, and the industrial relations were at the center in the writings of the Marxist history, Marxist historians. So the scholars, those who wrote about the Marxist history, and in the center point of the writing was industrial relations, main modes of production, and means of production. So these topics were handled by these Marxist historians. Accordingly, to analyze the impact of every social event of the significance has remained the basic theme of the Marxist historiography. So what was the basic theme of the Marxist historians? That is means they given the importance to the social event. They given the importance to the social event, and that was the base of their ideology to write the Marxist history. Marxist historians in India studied the transitions within the caste system. Among the notable Indian historians who adopted the Marxist ideological framework, scholars like Damodar Dharmanand Kosambi, Comrade Shripad Amrut Dange, Ram Sharan Sharma, Comrade Sharad Patil have contributed notably. So, notable scholars were there who write the Marxist history, and the persons, those who are the scholars like Damodar Dharmanand Kosambi, Comrade Shripad Amrut Dange, Ram Sharan Sharma, Comrade Sharad Patil. These people have contributed to write the Marxist history. Comrade Dange was one of the founder members of the Indian Communist Party. Comrade Dange, he was the founder member of the Communist Party. Primitive Communism to Slavery, the book written by him and represent Marxist historiography. So these Dange, Comrade Dange, he was the founder of the Communist Party, and he written the book Primitive Communism to Slavery, and he also noted that it means about the Marxist historiography in the Primitive Communism to Slavery. So this is the Marxist history, and Marxist history. What was the ideology of these historians? Means they given the importance to the means of production, modes of production, and the industrial relations, and also they given the importance to the social event in their writing of Marxist history. Now let us move to the next point, subaltern history. The seeds of the subaltern history are found in the Marxist historiography. Subaltern history. Subaltern means that is the bottommost rank people. Means the lower caste people, the lower community. This is called the subaltern history. The seeds of subaltern history are found in the Marxist historiography. So when there was a seed sowed by the Marxist historians, and there we can see there the ideology of the subaltern history in the Marxist historiography. The role of the Italian historian Antonio Gramsci is very important in developing the idea that history should be written starting from the bottommost ranks of people in the society. So what was the ideology of the Antonio Gramsci? That the history should be written starting from the bottommost ranks of people, meant from the ground level of the society. That history should be written, and one to one the caste, religion, whatever the caste, and who are the person, means from the ground level the history should be written by the scholars. And so in fact subaltern means the bottommost rank. Subaltern means the bottommost rank, means the backward people, common man. Hochelaga has been considered as a very important source of writing subaltern histories. Ranjit Guha, an Indian historian, played a major role in the establishing subaltern history as an important academic school of historiography. So, who played the major role for writing the subaltern history? That was Ranjit Guha. Ranjit Guha, who was a scholar, who was a historian, and he given the importance for the subaltern history, and he said that establishing subaltern history is an important academic school of historiography. However, we may point out that much before the onset of subaltern ideology, similar thoughts were expressed by Mahatma Jyotirao Phule and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. Mahatma Phule and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, these were the well-known personalities, and they have the ideology, similar ideology thoughts of, and who were expressed by these personalities of the onset of the subaltern ideology. Means in the beginning of the subaltern ideology, who were in the center point, Mahatma Jyotirao Phule and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. Mahatma Phule unfolded the history of the Shudrati Shudra communities in his book Gulamgiri. He drew attention to the exploitation of women, Shudras and Atishudras done under the name of religion. So Mahatma Jyotirao Phule unfolded the history of Shudrati Shudra communities in his book Gulamgiri. So he is written about the subaltern, about the bottommost ranked people in his book Gulamgiri. And he drew attention to the exploration of women, how the people harassed the women. The women were harassed, exploited by the people, and he was written in this book. And Shudras and Atishudras done under the name of religion. So there was the caste system, there was the religion, and the Shudras and Atishudras, they were suppressed by the people. And he stated in his book, the term Shudra and Atishudra indicates the bottommost ranks in the caste system. In those days there was a caste system, Shudra and Atishudra. So Shudra and Atishudra, this indicates the bottommost rank. Means Shudra is considered as a Shudra and Atishudra is considered to the bottommost rank people. The role of the people belonging to Dalit caste is very significant in the shaping of the various cultural and political aspects of India. However, their role was not duly recognized in the colonial and nationalistic historiography. So the role of the people belonging to the Dalit caste, the people, those who were the belonging the bottommost rank, the people, those who are belonging the Dalit caste, Dalit, who is considered the Dalit, means they didn't have any role in the politics or in shaping of the various cultural. However, their role was not duly recognized in the colonial and nationalistic historiography. And about them, about the Shudra and Atishudra, there was not written anything about these people, about this bottommost rank in colonial historiography or national historiography. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, focusing on this fact, consistently wrote about it throughout his book, Who Were the Shudras and the Untouchables. But Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, especially, he focused on the Shudras and Atishudras, and means the Dalit, and he written two books, Who Were the Shudras, and another one is that the Untouchables. And so in these books maybe cited as examples of the history of subaltern time, and these were the great examples of the subaltern historiography. Who is written that Shudras, who were the Shudras and the untouchables? Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. He stated in detail ideology about the caste system, about the Dalit, means the Shudras and Ati Shudras. Now let's move the feminist historiography. Feminist history about the women. Feminist means about the women. Over a significant period of time, mainly male scholars were involved in the writing of Indian history. Actually, in the beginning, so there was a significant period of time, and mainly male scholars were involved in the writing of the Indian history. As a result, the role and achievements of women in history remained neglected. But actually, there was a major role of the women in writing the history about the Indian historiography, but these women were neglected, and that's why there was the mainly male scholars were involved in the writing of Indian history, but women scholars were neglected. To highlight this fact was a major task faced by the feminist historians. Also, it was important to study and compile the historical writings of women. It was also necessary to rethink of women's position in history. Actually, they should have think about the women's position in history, because they also had contributed well for writing the historiography, but the women were neglected, and that's why it was so necessary to rethink of women's position in history. Among women's authors writing about women in the 19th century Christian era, Tarabai Shinde was the foremost one. And among women authors, among women scholars, about women historians who were in the center point, Tarabai Shinde in the 19th century. He was the foremost one. He was in the center point, and she wrote attacking the male-dominated social system and the caste system. And she was written in his book that how the male dominated the social system, and the caste system. Her book Stree Purush Tulna, published in 1882. So Tarabai Shinde was written the book Stree Purush Tulna, and that book was published in 1882. It is acknowledged as the first feminist book in India, and that was the first feminist book in India. Means it was the first female historian's book. It was the first female historian book in India. In 1888, the book written by Pandita Ramabai was published, entitled The High Caste Hindu Women, and another one, the female historian Pandita Ramabai, and she was published entitled The High Caste Hindu Women. The feminist literature of the post-independence era concentrate on the issues like employment of women, treatment meted out to them at their workplace, the right to political equality, etc. So the feminist literature of the post-independence, about the women literature in the means after the independence of India, they are concentrated like the employment of men, treatment meted out to them their workplace, means and their right to political equality. So these were the main point, because they didn't have any employment, they were neglected in the employment, and there was not good treatment on the workplace, at their workplace, and they didn't have any right to political equality in the political system. The right to political equality, etc. Among the recently published feminist literature, Meera Kosombi's book Crossing Thresholds, feminist essays in social history is of importance. It contains essays on the life of stories of the women, like Pandit Ramabai and Dr. Rukmabai, the first practicing lady doctor of India. So, you know, among the recently published feminist literature about the female literature, there was written about the female, you know, and the Meera Kosambi's book, Crossing Threshold, and feminist essays in social history. Feminist essays in social history is of importance. It contains essays on the life stories of women like Pandit Ramabai and Dr. Rukmabai, the first practicing lady doctor of India. And in that book, there was stated about the Pandit Ramabai and Dr. Rukmabai, who was the first lady doctor of India, Rukmabai. And a lot of literature is available unfolding the viewpoint of Dalit women in Maharashtra. Dr. Sharmila Rege's work is noteworthy in this context, and her book Writing Caste, Writing Gender, Reading Dalit Women's Testimonies includes her essays on the autobiographies of Dalit women. So, you know, the viewpoint of Dalit women in Maharashtra, Dr. Sharmila Rege's work is noteworthy. So, the female scholars who have done marvelous job for the female, for the women, for the feminists, and among them was the Dr. Sharmila Rege's. It was a notable scholar. She was a notable scholar. Work is extraordinary, and she wrote her book Writing Caste, Writing Gender, Reading Dalit Women's Testimonies includes her essays on the autobiographies of Dalit women, and she wrote some autobiographies of Dalit women, and so that is why she was the most notable scholar among the female historians, means Dr. Sharmila Rege. There have been a number of Indian historians who wrote without embossing a particular ideology. Among them, the historians like Sir Judanath Sarkar, Surendra Nath Sen, Riya Satkar, G.S. Sardesai, and Trembak Shankar Shejwalkar are the noteworthy. And these were the scholars who wrote about the female historiography. In the recent times, historians like the Yeshwant Dinkar Phadke, Ramchandra Guha, etc. have contributed extensively to the historiography of modern India. So, Yeshwant Dinkar Phadke and Ramchandra Guha, these were the notable scholars. They have contributed extensively to the historiography of modern India. Thus, it is evident that the Indian historiography has been influenced greatly by the social and political movements. It seems that same part of the Indian historiography was also developed outside the influence of these movements. So there was one type of the movement who wrote about the subaltern history, about the feminist history, and the women were neglected as far as history writing. So, but now these people who contributed well for writing the historiography, and so it is this is evident that the Indian historiography has been influenced greatly. It was impacted that the Indian historiography because of these people, and it seems that the same part of the Indian historiography was also developed outside in the influence of these movements. And that is the end of the chapter number 2. So please read it and solve the exercise in your notebook. So that's it. Thank you.